Top story that we are following here on India Today. The NCERT has a special module on the partition horrors. Remembrance Day creates stages. Remembrance Day have now been created in the middle and the secondary stages. This sparks a big controversy. Speaking about the horrors of the partition of India, losses that India had to suffer because of partition. The NCERT books now state that this partition was not the doing of one person, but there were several elements responsible for it. It was Jinnah who demanded it, the Congress which accepted it, and Lord Mountbatten who implemented it. So this is the change that we are now seeing in the NCERT. The NCERT very clearly states that the partition was not the doing of just one person. There were several elements and several people responsible for the partition of India. It was Jinnah who demanded it to begin with, Congress, the party that accepted it, and Mountbatten, the person who implemented it. This is a big controversy which is now broken out in the NCERT book. 3 elements responsible for India's partition. We are now seeing a special module which has now been included in the NCERT books. This is with regards to India's partition. My colleague Milan Sharma is now joining me on the story. Milan, we are now seeing how the NCERT is keeping a special module for what happened what happened then. They are now speaking about the horrors of partition, also speak about the fact that it was not the doing of just one person, but there were several elements, several people responsible for partition of India.
Well, Aishwarya, this is an NCERT module that has been released for classes 6 to 8, and the module clearly states about the partition horrors and calls it as a Remembrance Day, which is 14th of August. This is something that has been promoted by the BJP leaders as well as the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So here is the module, and I'm trying to show you the page on which it is written here, the culprits of partition, and it's clearly said that there were 3 elements responsible for the partition of India. Jinnah who demanded it, second the Congress which accepted it, and the third was Mountbatten who had implemented it. So this is the entire section on the culprits of partition, that where quotes have been put of Lord Mountbatten, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, Mahatma Gandhi, Lord Wavell, those who were at the point of time responsible. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been quoted in the first page of the module, and he says that the pains of partition can never be forgotten, which is why 14th August will be observed as a Partition Horrors Remembrance Day. So this is the Partition Horror Remembrance Day module that has been brought out by the NCERT. Of course, the BJP there saying that why just blame Muhammad Ali Jinnah, who called for the partition because of his thought that Hindus and Muslims cannot live together because they're culturally different, they are different from each other. But also the Congress has to be blamed because it went ahead and accepted the idea of partition. And of course Lord Mountbatten, who was the last Viceroy of India, had gone ahead and decided that instead of handing over the entire, the transfer of power in 1948, let's go ahead and hand it over in 1947, because Jinnah had called for a direct action day earlier, which led to the loss of lives of many Indians in that particular time. So, all these points, all these facts have been quoted in the special module of the NCERT. And of course, the BJP government wants it to be remembered as a Remembrance Day because partition brought itself horrors. Many deaths were unaccounted on both sides when the lines of partition were drawn by the British before they left India. Aishwarya?
Right, Milan, if you can also just throw some light, is it a special module that has been brought in by the NCERT, or do you believe this will now become a part of the syllabus that will be taught by the NCERT?
Well, Aishwarya, special modules are regularly brought out by the NCERT on special occasions or special events that are highlighted by the Government of India. Remember that earlier the NCERT has also brought in modules on G20 when it happened in India for the first time, and also on Operation Sindoor is something that the NCERT is currently working on, which we have put forward as news for our viewers, because NCERT is working on a special module for for Operation Sindoor as well. It has brought out a special module on COVID-19 as well. So this also happens to be one such module. Of course, it is recommended that classes from 6 to 8 be taught this module, and it's not part of the full-fledged syllabus as such. But yes, NCERT, when it brings out a module, it is certainly taught in all schools across India. The module, this one at least, has been brought out in 2 languages, Hindi and English, and there are 2 parts to this particular Remembrance Day module, which is for middle stages as well as secondary stages. Aishwarya?
Right, Milan, we are also seeing all of this becoming extremely political also at the moment. The Congress also is jumping onto this. They are saying you need to burn this book if it does not tell the truth. Partition happened because there was a nexus between the Hindu Mahasabha and the Muslim League. RSS, in fact, is a danger to the entire nation. The idea of partition was first propagated by the Hindu Mahasabha way back in 1938, repeated by Jinnah in 1940. So we are now seeing all this becoming extremely political.
Well, definitely all these facts which are related to history and modern history, especially when it comes to the partition, have been a point of contention in India. And of course, the book there clearly, the module there, clearly states how, Nehru also accepted the partition. Lord Mountbatten made a very severe and careless mistake of making the transfer of powers earlier than 1947, and it was supposed to be transferred in 1948. So all this has led to a lot of politics surrounding the current situation, the current scenario in the country, where the Congress party leaders have been saying that Congress did not propagate or promote the partition, but the book also quotes Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, who was then a senior Congress leader as well and part of Nehru's first cabinet, and he said that it is better to have a partition than to have a civil war. In fact, Mahatma Gandhi, who was one of those people who was not very happy with the partition, was not even in Delhi at that point of time, had left for Bengal, and he was one of those people who was mourning the partition instead of celebrating India's partition. So these are all facts that have been laid down by historians and educationists throughout the years. But yes, sadly, politics continues to be played by both sides and all political parties on why India was partitioned and what kind of horror that people went through at that point of time.
Milan, please stay on with me.